Hey, 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 party people, welcome to the Dental Efficiency Playbook. My name is Gabe Hoffman, also known as the Dental Efficiency Guy, and I'm excited to have Adrian Jordan, the Executive VP of Oak Dental Partners. But as Executive VP, Adrian is a different kind of leader, and I absolutely am really excited to dive into it today. She's not afraid to roll up her sleeves and she works at all levels of the organization, gets down and dirty in the trenches to really do whatever it takes to help Oak Dental Partners to operate. And today we are going to be diving into data and data quality, data accuracy, and the effect or importance on team and patient care. So, Adrian, welcome to the show, and I'm excited
Thank
to talk
you.
to you today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So, yeah, let's get started. So, talk to me a little bit about that. As like what you were just telling me, being a different kind of leader. So,
Yeah.
as the VP of operations, you jump in at all positions. Can
In
you?
all positions. In every
Okay.
positions. I don't shy away from anything too much. Wherever I can help my team out is the best way possible. Our operations flow a little bit differently, and under my leadership, we have office operations, call center, RCM, practice management. So I am a SME in all things. I like to call it in dental. And so I try to make sure we're all under the operation hood. So then things work consistently for patient care because that's the end goal, right? Is to make sure our patient care is top tier. And so I want to make
Absolutely.
sure those systems that we put in place all the way through from when the patient calls to when the patient receives the statement is pretty much consistent across the board. So I roll my sleeves up. I get in deep and dirty with my team, and I look up claims. I post I post payments. I check AR, and I'm talking to patients. I'm visiting offices. So my job is pretty much a all around type deal. I like to get my hands dirty in every aspect that I possibly can. Yeah.
And I love that because as we know, as you're doing that, not only are you shoulder to shoulder with those team members,
Yeah.
and so it opens up trust and communication and those channels, right? Builds the culture at all levels, but then also you're inspecting what you expect and
Exactly.
setting the example for the rest of your team as well. So no,
Absolutely.
that's absolutely fantastic. So um, yeah, talk to me a little bit about. Obviously, you guys have implemented some partners
Yeah.
and put an emphasis on data quality in the patient journey. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you arrived, like how you guys have made the decision to use automation as well as put an emphasis on data quality in your operations?
Yeah. So my biggest overcoming task is time. And that's not something that can change. That's not something we can alter. That's something we have to adapt to. So
Absolutely.
anything that I have deemed or looked at in our organization that has caused our team massive amount of time, I'm trying to reduce that time and put in things that has them change their focus back around to the patient that's standing in front of them, or even make it a little bit easier on the steps they take to get there. And so it was super important for me to take a look at operations. Every time I go into operations or to our office, I am taking a step back and looking at how things are processed, how long my team is taking on a call, no matter if it's with a patient, with the insurance company. How long is my support team spending on a call with insurance to get the information they need? So, a lot of our processes that we put in place generally does that. It saves my team time so they can get the information fast, right? And it's efficient and it's accurate. And then they don't have to worry about not having the right insurance password or not having those different things that can hinder their workflow. And so we're going to maximize their workflow and spend as much time doing the things that matter instead of wasting time on hold or, filling out documents that we can get something else to do that. And AI is a brilliant piece that is joining the dental world that has helped us overcome that. So I'm pretty excited with the solutions we have rolling in place, and what we put in place for our offices to just be efficient.
Awesome, awesome. So, couple points there. Thank you for that. You have so you specified the phone and the
Yes.
time on the phone. So you are using a using an AI component for phone data and the incoming data off of the phone.
So yeah, so we just recently incorporated a nice solution to start us off, right? So within patient care, it starts with a phone call, or it starts with a walk-in. So
Good.
we
Yeah.
put something, a solution in place, so we can understand why our patients are calling, and we can have a better solution for those patients, right? And then set our teams up for success on how do we deal with those patients, how do we talk to them, and then how do we move forward with all the things that a patient needs to complete their visit. So that was a beautiful solution that we put in place on the beginning. And then we
So is
did,
that
go ahead.
Adrian, real quick, is that income all incoming patient calls or is that new
All
patients?
income patient calls. We do not, we want to see the
Okay.
whole platform. We don't want to just be specific because our new patients is just as important as our existing. All our patients matter. And so we want to make sure that we get the right data for all our patients to make sure that
Okay.
we are doing everything correctly.
So you have all the right data that you're capturing, and that is writing back into your PMS, correct?
Correct. It's writing back into our PMS. And then our team is able to look at things from a bird's eye view instead of digging one by one on the calls or whatever we're doing. We can see generally what's happening within our 9 states. And
Oh no,
that's
that's awesome.
brilliant because two different time zones, 9 states, roughly about 77 offices. That's when it becomes where you need to understand your business and understand what our patients are bringing to our table so we can make sure we have solutions in place to take care of those patients.
It's That's really awesome. As you said, bird's eye view, but be able to dive in specifically as well, whether that's office by office, region by region,
Yeah.
or just, and one thing that I don't want to overlook that you mentioned is you specified earlier that listening to calls or tracking how much time is spent on specific tasks like on the phone or on hold. And um, I think that's really important to highlight because it's such a it's a necessary part of the business until AI automation is implemented. However, if we're not tracking it, we're not measuring it, then how can we manage or enhance it? And I think that's something that the phone was always the lifeline for the practice, right? So it's really amazing now
Yeah.
that with the phone, right, we can eliminate all the distraction and enhance patient care as a result of that person up front being available for our patients in the practice and the phone, all of the data on the phone still being captured and right there for us in our PMS. So
Yeah.
then the other thing that you mentioned is insurance and being on the phone with insurance. So
Yeah.
um, as you know, that is
It's a hot
after
topic.
being in operations for a couple decades, yeah, that's one of those things that I am very passionate about
Yeah.
because the quality of insurance data, and again, you mentioned it starts with what you capture on the phone
Mm-hmm.
or what gets into the PMS. And then if that data is there, what are we pulling from the insurance company? Are we just getting eligibility data or are we getting complete data that
Correct.
allows us? Yeah, absolutely. So talk a little bit about that. You know, how has that impacted your business and what exactly has impacted your business from a data standpoint?
So data is huge for me. I'm a software geek through and through, and the data you give any PMS is the data is going to give back to you. So my team would probably say one thing about me is that Adrian does not play about the data that goes into our system, and that's because it tells us a story. A patient visit tells us a story. On the calls, it tells us a
Absolutely.
story. Everything is just it's a big storytelling moment, right? And so when you're on the call with insurance, getting that information with screaming kids in the background and all those things, sometimes you don't get the right information or it's not put
Yeah.
into the correct place. I mean, there's different pieces of avenues on what can hold up someone from successfully getting through what they need to get through to complete for a patient, right? And so data in itself is majorly important. I mean, especially when we're talking about insurance data specifically, payer data is so much more beneficial than clearinghouse data. And I'm going to put that out there because, and I say a reason because insurance companies, I've been working with them for 23 years, just in my past life of RCM. And
Me both.
so, when you're going to go fight something with the insurance company, I use the word fight because, the denial means it's time to put on your gloves and start fighting, right? So whenever you're going to go fight something with the insurance company, you have to have proof. And the proof comes directly from what they should have given you before you should have got started with that patient, right? So all that to say is that it's super important that the data we get is accurate. And with me being such a software geek, I do understand that data is passed through and it's only based off of what is updated, what is not, what is sent, what is not. And so we use our single point of truth as the insurance company and the eligibility they give us because of that piece. They are the single source of truth when it comes to servicing our patients with insurance. And so it's super important that we capture exactly what that company is giving us based off the benefits. Because why? They got to pay us, right? The payment doesn't come from anyone else but them. So that means the information that we receive also needs to come from them as well. And when we get that data, then our denials go down. Then our payment collections go up, right? Because now we're accurately billing the way we should. And the information that is given to our support teams to manage that RCM function is just easy peasy. We don't have to go back and forth to try to figure out was this patient eligible during this time of service and all those things because of the data we have coming in and it's accurate and it's there for our
So
teams to use.
no, that's amazing. That's beautiful. Like what's the time effect been with your team now not having to rework and resubmit claims because if the data is accurate coming in to the
Mhm.
PMS, then the claim information, the treatment plan should be accurate, more accurate.
Correct.
So I'm curious, have you seen an impact on your insurance payments and or write-offs as well
Absolutely.
as on the
Absolutely.
claim submission
Our
process?
denials have our denials and our like what we call bad debt. Everyone should have bad debt, let's be honest. But our denials and our bad debt has significantly decreased. Our collections, you can see they're coming in a lot faster. Instead of the hold up type piece, we're hitting the right group number, the right carrier the first time. So we don't have to go back and try to figure out like what happened and why this claim did not make it to the insurance company. So we're seeing some good progression off of having that data given to us and that accurate data being in our system. It has gave us the ability to scale even more and certain support teams based off of what we're getting. And so now my teams can do more but do less. So that's the key, right? Is that I don't want them to feel like they're doing more because now it's an autopilot. That's what I call them. They're in autopilot. They are working to a tune of what data is given to us, and it's turned out to be a really good solution for us. And they are not holding up on their end, on the phone, all those things, trying to figure different things out. So it actually cut them. So let's say some of my teams are on phones with insurance companies, maybe an hour, normal wait time. 30 minutes to an hour, and we have cut that wait time down. So now that time management is actually spent into doing things, like I said, that matter, as making sure that we post our payments to the ledger and all those things, and we're working the outstanding AR if we have any. And so it is put on things that actually matter instead of spending those times on the phone.
So Yeah, impact AR. As we know, um, so often there is a big challenge for practices or groups is chasing AR. Right, the time
Correct.
to consistently keep AR clean, especially when you're seeing a lot of patients. The busier that you get, and that's just the constant process of keeping AR clean, and so that's a massive, massive impact. I'd say it's like a secondary or tertiary impact of having the insurance data accurate,
It
right? Because
is.
you, I don't think everybody goes into it thinking about that ripple, that effect on the back end.
Yeah.
It's, hey, we're going to have more time for off of the phone. We're going to have accurate data for treatment planning and for claims. But when it reduces days to reimbursement and you're not working all of the claims resubmission and it doesn't go to AR,
Yeah.
then you have the ability to clean up your AR and all those additional collections, but it keeps the clean data on the front end is keeping the business clean. And something I don't want to overlook that you mentioned is single source of truth, because we hear that thrown around a lot today. But to highlight the single source of truth with the insurance data, I mean, patient data, our team members, when entering patients or however the patients come in, right? If something is misspelled or something is given in error, as we know,
Yeah.
as all humans, or in transmission or in data entry, things will be incorrect. So the payer data is like as you said, is the source of truth. It is
Yeah.
the accurate data. And so one thing I want to highlight is the solution then is able to correct any errors in patient data when they are incorrect in the PMS. Is that what I'm understanding?
Absolutely, because if you think about it, like eligibility errors aren't small mistakes, right? That's just data that's entered in the PMS incorrectly. So, I mean, those small mistakes, they're actually silent killers of revenue leaks.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you look at the data and it's not matching, those are slow killers. I mean, one patient out of five, one patient out of 10 is still one patient. And those patients do add up. And then over time, every time we benefit incorrectly or look at things incorrectly, it's just going to be under collecting. And it's now putting more time and more emphasis on getting it right when we could have got it right the first time. And that's the piece of it, right? Is getting it right the first time so we can utilize our time. That's it. Let's
I
just get it
I
right the first
think
time.
of I think of my first boss in operations was always using Ohio. Only
Yeah.
handle it once,
Only handle it
right?
once.
And
Exactly. Yes.
I love that. And all my all the Buckeyes fans out there that they hear that and they're like, cheers. But
Yes.
anyway, yeah, that acronym, right? And I know in operations, those those ripples with having the clean data, um, the time reallotment. So you've chosen your team is working now. You're talking about your RCM team, correct? They are
Yes.
working
Yeah.
on accounts receivable and posting payments. So, what has been the effect on at the practice level when now they don't have to sit on the phone with insurance or work
Are you
claims
kidding
and
me?
rework
I'm
claims?
giving them data at their fingertips. They freaking love me right now. I might be like Queen Adrian. No, I'm pushing it. No, but
I love it.
I'm pushing it. So, no, but putting data right at their fingertips, that's what my team loves the most. That's what they feel the most supported on. And that's what I've gained from talking to a lot of leaders in our offices is that taking things away from them that I keep bringing time into a point. Everybody says time, time, time. It matters. And our offices say the same, I was on hold for this long. And so when you give them data at their fingertips, and accurate data at their fingertips, because they are very judgmental about the data that I give. Okay. So there. So we always got to come correct about the data that we provide them because they are very passionate about their patients and about making sure their patients are properly taken care of, and I love that for them. But
Yeah.
when we get to that, they love the accuracy. They love the fact that I'm giving them the same thing that they would normally go out to get for insurance portals and whatnot. And so I asked them how long does it take them to grab it from an insurance portal, because that's the easiest thing to grab it from. With the pieces of what happened when the password changed, what happened if someone reset and didn't tell you, what happens when you're locked out, right? Like all those steps that it takes, you have to put all that into a account when you're talking about their time management. And so now that I'm giving them data and they don't have to worry about those inefficiencies, they freaking love me right now. And I love that, right? I love that they can get that information. It's coming straight from the payer. They're getting way more information than they asked me for, because with me being so long in dental, I understand eligibility is just not the only thing important. Histories are important as well, for your patient, and to understand that so you can do an accurate treatment plan right there on the spot instead of having to call the insurance back to get more information that it did not provide. And so giving them that additional information of everything I can think of that they would use for their particular office has been a game changer.
Awesome. Well, congrats on that.
Thank
And
you.
I love that you are Queen Adrian and that
No,
your
don't say
team
that.
is, I know. No, but that honestly, I know the effect of reallocating time from
Yeah.
those tasks to patient care or to team, and the impact at the practice level as well. And um, look at 100%. That's why that's my motivation. If we can enhance patient care, the delivery of patient care, with reallocating time, human to human contact in the age of AI is how we all excel, right? And
Correct.
um,
Yeah.
and that's um, I feel like I love it for multiple reasons, but there's still a sense of fear in the market about whether AI is going to take people's positions, or how it's going to impact um, people in every business, but especially in dentistry. And so I think that is a perfect example of how you've been able to enhance operations by redirecting the time as opposed to replace.
Right.
And so just wanted to articulate that because I still hear it from time to time.
Of
And
course.
where do you see, Adrian? Where do you see? Obviously, I know you guys are growing quickly. So congrats, kudos to that.
Thank you.
As you were sharing with me before the recording, um, the time, the accurate data, and the time, and what you've been able to build from an operation standpoint has allowed you to acquire practices more quickly as well. So you guys are growing at a fairly fast rate. Where do you see um, the industry going, or Oak Dental Partners, or the industry going over the next year to 2 years? And I don't say 5 years because I know things are moving very fast right now.
Technology changes every 6 months. I swear it does.
Yeah.
I think the industry, I think dental is catching up to where medical has been for such a long time. I've done cross coding before, so I understand that medical field too and where they are, and which has helped me understand AI a lot better because they've had it first. And it really doesn't take a job position, right? Because you still need a human eye to oversee the information that the AI is given. So that connotation is I think it's just a scared or a fear tactic, more so than anything, because it can't do it all, but it definitely can enhance what you're doing and do it a lot faster.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the industry, I think if you're not on board with at least one piece of AI, then I call it you're working backwards. Because why not enhance something that could reduce time and give you more accuracy and consistency, and then have your team overlook it? That has helped for what AI has given our organization. It has helped drastically train new people coming into the dental industry on understanding dental, instead of going the paper charts and all the things. Now they see the information that is coming back and they're asking more questions because they're seeing the right information coming back. And now we're able to train the new generation coming into dentistry so much better than I think we were trained when we came into dentistry, right? I think I was trained by a provider that I used to work for, so he only knew what he knew.
Oh,
So, and then I've taken a lot from our industry leaders and things in that nature. So, I honestly think technology is soaring, and it's really for you to understand where your organization is, what is the what is your areas where it can be improved, and put AI in place where your areas of improvement is. Don't put AI in place where your team is doing absolutely phenomenal at, because that's not
right,
the
right.
issue, right? So every team, every office has a point of improvement. I have not seen one office that was 100% beautiful no matter what it is. And so when you look at I would tell people, or look at technology, whatever you're bringing into your organization, bring in something that helps your team do something that they can't do, right? Or they don't know how to do, so they can learn from it. And then that you're setting your team now up for success. You're giving them all the tools to make them understand their position a lot better, and hopefully turning what is some people's job into a career. We want to invest in our people and understand, like, and make them understand the knowledge that it takes behind the dental world. And dental, everyone says that you got to be mental to do dental, right? So we want you to stay because we're investing all of this knowledge. And so a way to do that is to really do it the way they look at social media, the way they look at all the things that are out there, and kind of give them that same platform that they're used to. So that's what has worked for us. And I can say in the next 2 years, I can, right now, I think I'm at the tip of my AI products. I'm running about 3 or 4 at a time. But it goes with saying that I think in 2 years, then my organization will be on autopilot at this point, and then it will just be a day in, day out type deal. Loving your job, loving your patients that you're serving, and providing that information, and just giving accurate data and accurate information back to your patient based off the outcome of their dental service or dental visit.
Yeah, I love that. As I mentioned earlier in the call, I mean, at the end of the day, if if it's not enhancing patient care, the delivery of patient care, you have to ask the question, does it make sense? And I mean,
Does it
like
make
when we're
sense?
looking
Yeah.
at all the redundancy, all the repetitive tasks, the challenges, the big the log jams or the big cost centers in the business, if 10%, 20%, 30%, 40% of that time, or even in some cases 90% of the time can be reallocated to now an impact that enhances patient care, literally improves the delivery of, or it's more efficient, or higher quality,
Yeah.
or less time to deliver it, it's a win 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 win. I mean, like that is why we are all in dental. And actually, Adrian, I don't know that I've heard it in different ways, but you have to be mental to do dental. But the interesting thing is that we all jump in and then it grabs us and we
Yeah.
stay in, right? Like 20 some odd years ago, I remember jumping in to dentistry. I had no dental experience. And
Yeah.
I never imagined it being my, like, my life's
Me neither,
career,
friend.
but
Me
but
neither.
yeah, some about it, like, the passion just grows and grows and
Yeah.
grows, for people. And now it's really cool to see where patient care is heading. And I was I was in Chicago. I was at a Becker's meeting not that long ago,
Yeah.
seeing some of my old friends, and one of the major overarching themes when asking DSO, um, um, executives and people, long time influencers in the business, where they saw the next year to 2 years. And it was really on the patient experience, or wowing, a return to the wow patient experience, and
Mhm.
where technology is going to allow that to be the emphasis or focus. And I think, to bring it all back home, like the data and what you're doing with the data and the data accuracy and the reallocation of time is also eliminating a lot of the headaches in the business that slow down the delivery of patient care or the expansion, allowing you to scale the business and provide, more patient care,
Exactly.
greater access to care. And so, with that said, um, Adrian, I always like to ask, if there's one thing in operations or around data or just in life that you want to share with the listeners, that you want to leave them with today. It's been an absolute pleasure diving into data, diving into operations, and learning. I knew that you dove in at all levels, but I didn't know that literally when you said that you're rolling up your sleeves and you're sitting in any position in the practice. So I love that. I love that. And then what you guys are doing with data and with AI is really, the way you're doing it is amazing, and so I love to get that update as well as share with all our listeners, how it's really enhancing your business. But what would be that one thing that you want to leave everybody with today?
I think one thing that I have learned from other leaders in the business is that, and I heard it when I was sitting on a panel before and I was speaking at an event, is the fail fast method. Is understand and read the room, read your offices, read your team, and come from a place to listen, to understand what they need, and provide them just that. And if a solution doesn't work, don't be afraid to snatch it up, right? Don't be afraid to take it back and go back and pivot or go back and rework it, or go back and change it. It's the same thing applies when you are loading a PMS, junk in, junk out type deal, and you're loading AI pieces. It's only as good as the information you give it. So make sure that when you're running all these products, give it everything you got or don't give it nothing at all. Because it's not going to magically appear or magically give you information just based off of connecting a couple of different tools together. You have to give it everything that your brain is thinking of so it can maximize what the service it gives back to your team. So I would tell any leader, get in there. If you're going to settle on a solution, 100% all in, or you're going to get zero out of it. And when you sign the dotted line, just make sure you're 100% all in, so it's nothing lagging with the information that it could provide.
That's awesome. That's great. That's really wise words. And it's been awesome speaking with you today,
You too,
Adrian.
Greg.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah.
To all of our listeners, if Adrian, if you have questions about anything that we've talked about, or want to connect, you can always reach out to the show. Support at the Dental Efficiency Guy, or comment on in the notes. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great episodes. And thank you for joining this episode of the Dental Efficiency Playbook. Cheers. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Dental Efficiency Playbook. With questions or interest, please reach us at GabrielleTheDentalEfficiencyGuy.com or comment below. Please hit the like button and subscribe for more great episodes. Remember, my friends, that 1% better each day is still moving forward, so please enjoy the ride and don't forget to smile. Cheers.